Hello avid kiddos, this is your Flipped Friday video number 3. This needs to be watched by the blue group by Friday, September 28th and the yellow group by Friday, October 5th. We're taking a turn with our Flip Friday writing workshops. We're moving now from reflective and expressive writing to an informative and expository. To start you off with that writing, I want to talk to you about a few things that I've written in the past year to the following people, organizations, and companies. So some of the things I've written are my credit union to cancel a credit card, my energy provider to renew my contract, my Azuma leasing company to renew my washer, dryer, and lease, an airline to ask about emergency ticket cancellations and reimbursements during the summer. I write to substitutes to give instructions for my classes, and I often write to colleagues to explain professional development findings and lesson plan ideas, something I did today in a meeting. So all of those are types of informative and expository writings. They're real-world writings that you'll do periodically, not even periodically, all the time once you get into a real profession and when you go to college. So to understand informative and expository writing, let's first look at a few definitions. Let's break it down into the root words. So with expository, your root word is explain, which means to make plain or clear or to make known in detail. So therefore, expository writing is serving to explain something. Your root word of informative is inform, which means to give knowledge of a fact or circumstance. So therefore, informative writing is the act or fact of informing knowledge received concerning a fact or circumstance, knowledge gained through study. So expository and informative are very closely related and sometimes interchangeable, but they're slightly different, which we're going to see in just a minute. So let's focus first on informative writing. In informative writing, the writer conveys information about the natural or social world. The writer discusses whole classes of things into a timeless way, so categorization, classification, presents facts about a topic of study. So informative writing is more based on study. Common features of informative writing include presentation and repetition of a topic, comparative and contrastive structures, classificatory structures, technical vocabulary, realistic illustrations or photographs, so no drawings, no paintings, labels and captions, and navigational aids such as indexes, page numbers, and various graphical devices such as diagrams, tables, and charts. So some examples of informative writing might include textbooks, dictionaries, thesauruses, anything with charts, so maps, atlas, all of those are informative writing. Now let's look closely at expositive writing. Expositive writing can be expository writing can be broken down into 5 structures. We have description, sequence, comparison, cause and effect, and problem and solution. Descriptive writing and expository just simply describes a topic by listing characteristics, attributes, or examples. Sequence means you list events or in numerical order or chronological order or sequence. Comparison means you're taking 2 or more events, concepts, theories, or ideas that are alike or different. Cause and effect means you're presenting ideas, events in time, or facts, and the causes of the resulting effects. And problem and solution means that you're presenting a problem and one or more solutions to that problem. So expository writing is not really so much based on study like informative. It's based on taking something and thoroughly explaining it. Procedural writing is kind of an outcast of informative and expository writing. We won't see too much of that in school, but you'll see a lot of it in real world. So procedural writing is also known as how-to writing. In a procedural text, the writer instructs the reader on how to do something, is typically someone who knows how to do that procedure, and is typically instructing someone who must rely on the text to properly do that procedure. So some examples of procedural writing might be instruction manuals, any sort of guide or diagram that shows you how to put something together. Common features of procedural writing includes a statement or goal, a material section, methods, procedures, and steps, It uses letters and numbers to indicate the order of the steps, and it has demonstrative graphics. And as far as pronoun use, it uses the word you, if it uses any pronoun at all. It doesn't necessarily need to use pronouns. The last thing I want to show you before we conclude this video, it's a real short video, is I want to show you an example of one of my informative expository writings. I like to call this the unwritten rules, because in many cases, in anything that we do, in baseball, if you're an athlete and you're in football, or if you're just a girl and you're with your girlfriends, there's something that we like to call unwritten rules or unofficial rules. And it's things that we abide by, we know that we should do, but they're just not written down. They're just simply expectations in our social world. So what I've done is I've created an unofficial and unwritten rules of being a younger sister, because I have one older sister and I'm the youngest. So I determined some unofficial and unwritten rules of being a younger sister. If you notice in red, I have the rules. The rules are more informative writing because you're setting out a fact for someone to follow. And then in black, you'll see more of expository writing. I took that rule and I explained it. So let's take a look through these rules. Number 1, what's hers is not yours. Although the closet may be open and unlocked, it does not mean that you can help yourself to anything. Rule number 2, if you are near your older sister at school, keep your eyes straight forward and keep walking. At school, you are not related. She doesn't know you until it's dinner time at home. Rule number 3, age comes before beauty. You are not the boss, so remember, blackmail is a pain. Rule number 4, remember to say thank you constantly to your older sister. You are so lucky that you are not the guinea pig like she was. Your parents screwed up with your older sister, which makes you a walk in the park. Rule number 5, you must grin and bear all verbal abuse. Because your parents were more strict with her, she takes it out on you. It is what it is. Rule number 6, curfew is 2 whole hours earlier than your older sisters. The parents were too lenient and know better now. Rule number 7, rely on your older sister. When your parents do not understand, she will. Rule number 6, never be afraid to ask your older sister for style advice. She may act like she hates your guts, but she will jump on any opportunity to demonstrate her talent. Rule number 9, learn from your older sister's mistakes. Do not repeat her past. She may be older and wiser, but that does not mean that she didn't have some blonde moments. And last but not least, rule number 10, always apologize after a fight. You and your sister may have your battles, but she will always be there for you, whereas friends may come and go. So as you can see in this unwritten rules list, I've created some rules that anyone who's a younger sister or maybe even a younger sibling could relate to. I've informed them about my rules and I've explained why the rules are in effect. So at this point, you need to move to the flipped forum number 3 and respond and reflect on my writing. What do you notice? What you like? Any formatting or structuring? Anything that I included that you might be able to include? Just comment simply on the content and the structure and mechanics of my writing. Until then, make sure that you complete this video and the forum before I see you on Friday. I'll see you then.